Hello YouTube, welcome back to the shop. My name's Jim. So we're working on this Cummins project. Yesterday I went down to Pennsylvania and picked up the another Cummins motor so I can take two and make one. Yesterday I was trying to do a little sandblasting. I got a Harbor Freight Sandblaster that I picked up just a little while ago and I haven't really used it. And to say the least, the siphon tube on it really sucks. Like, it just keeps getting clogged up. I don't get good flow. So it's kind of a pain. There are a ton of videos on changing out the siphon tube and going to like a gravity feed system. So I think today that's what we're going to do. So let me spin you around. I'll show you exactly what I'm working with. All right, so here's what we're working with. I rated my parts bin. We got a 1" 90, a small nipple, 1" by 3/4 or 1" by 1/2 T, and then a bushing here reduces us down to 1/2 inch. We got a barb fitting here. So this is going to go up to the gun. This is going to get a small valve on it so that I can meter the amount of air that's coming in here. And then this is going to go onto this plate. So I got to drill a hole here. And then I don't have a floor flange, which is how most people mount this. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut a hole here and then we'll weld that right solid onto this plate. I don't see any reason why I would ever need to unthread this from here. So I mean, maybe if I get a clog or something, but if I do, I can always just take the plate right off the machine. There's just one bolt that holds down here and a little latch. This foam, I think, is glued on, which means when I'm welding it, it's going to mess up that foam. I may have to find a different seal of some sort. So let me figure out how I'm going to cut this hole, and then we'll go from there. So as it turns out, it is glued on, but not very good. So just a screwdriver here, and I'm able to kind of pry this up. So we'll be able to reuse this seal, even if I do weld it. So we got that guy off. And let's see about getting some measurements here. So OD, it's about 1 1/4. Actually, I could probably go 1 3/8. It'll give me a little bit of slop. Yeah, let's do 1 3/8. I'm not real good with hand plasma cutting. Alright, so finding the center on this, we're just gonna use this. I mean, this isn't gonna be super precise, but it'll get us close. I'm just going corner to corner. And right about there, looks good to this guy. I've got our center marked out. Just gonna take a punch. Put a pretty good dimple there, and then let's head over to the drill press. Alright, so we got a hole saw here in the drill press. This drill press, I don't even know how old it is. I got it off my dad years and years and years ago, and it sat in his wood shop for the whole time I was growing up. She's been a pretty good drill press for me. I did put a new motor on it. The old motor was, I think, a 1/4 horse, and I went with a 3/4. So yeah, she usually doesn't stop. I don't have any. Hold on just a second. Let me make sure I'm not going to drill through my table. Okay. I'm all out of cutting fluid, so we're going to have to use some WD-40. And one hole. All right, so we're gonna get our little dude chucked up in the vise here. And we want this guy. Ooh, that's a little bigger than I was hoping. Ooh. Yeah, can you say stitch weld much? Well, ain't that just a joy? So I'm gonna take this over to the grinder. We'll get these edges cleaned up a little bit, get the paint off of there, and then yeah, this is gonna be a fun one. I should have gone a little smaller on that hole. Alright, so got the welder out, and like I said, I ended up making that hole bigger than it needed to be, so we'll have to do a little bit of stitch welding in there. I'm not super concerned because, I mean, at the end of the day, the only weight it's got to hold is just its own. Which way do I want this, though? Towards the front. Yes, so I want it to go that way. I'm using a Hobart Ironman 240 welder. She's a lot more welder than I need for this. I do have a small little buzz box too, but I just love this Hobart. So I'm just going to get her tacked in a couple of places here. And basically what I'm doing is building the weld from this fitting out. There's some oil on the fitting, so I probably should have cleaned that up, but yeah, it'll be alright. Alright, not the prettiest thing around, but considering the amount of grease that I had in there, not too bad. I'll bring you down so you can take a little closer look. Alright, so here you can see the actual weld, and it didn't help anything that the fitting itself had some oil on it, and then I sprayed WD-40 on this. I could have cleaned this up a lot better, gotten a much better finished product, but I mean, for what it is, that weld's going to hold just fine. Alright, so not that I really think we need a whole lot of pipe dope and stuff on this, but we'll put it together with some just to make sure. I like this Magna lock. When I'm doing jobs out and about, I use the Blue Monster tape and this Magna lock on just about everything. I don't have leaks, and that's probably why. Each product actually works in a different way. Thread tape takes up room inside of the threads, and then pipe dope does two different things. Like this stuff has got some fiber in it, so it does take up some room inside of the threads, but more importantly, it provides lubrication, so when you tighten this down, you actually get a good seal. Pipe threads are a tapered thread, so in theory, as long as you tighten it enough, it will seal. But having the pipe dope the thread tape in there to take up some room in the threads, and then using pipe dope to provide some lubrication so that you can get it tighter with a little less effort, makes all the difference in the world. And I'm sure there's some plumbers out there that may disagree with my theory there, but that's the way I've been doing it for 20 plus years, and I've never had a problem. So this part of the I don't know what you'd call it, distributor, I guess, doesn't really need to be sealed because this is actually just where sand is going to come in at. So as long as it's quote-unquote sand tight, she should be in good shape. So we'll throw some more dope here. And that guy's still pretty hot, so yeah, you know, Lord knows I'm not going to wait to put something on until like I can touch it. That's just silly talk. Right about there looks good. So I got to find a little valve for up here. Let me take a look at my bench stock, see what I got laying. I got a ton of press fittings and a ton of PEX fittings and a ton of sweat valves, but the only half-inch threaded valve I could find was this old gas valve that I took out of something. I don't remember what or where, but it'll work. So we'll get that guy broke free. I'm going to take that flare fitting off the other side. I don't really need it for anything. I think that'll work just fine. Which way do I want that? Right about there, looks good. Alright, so here's what we've got for our finished contraption. So again, ugly weld, 90, small nipple. 1 by 1/2 inch T going up to a 1/2 inch, and then I reduce it down to this 5/8 barb, and that's going to actually be the hose that's going up to the gun. So let me round up some hose. I think I've got a bunch of heater hose here someplace, and I'm hoping that'll work. So we'll see. All right, so here we are over at the Sandblaster. I think I'm going to come in like right about here for the hose. I do have a whole roll of this 5/8 rubber heater hose. I don't know if the sand is going to mess it up or not, but we're going to basically put a hole right here. I'm just using a step bit. These guys, I love these step bits. All right, and that'll work perfect. So I'll get the door put on the bottom of this and get the hose attached, and then we're gonna run it up right through that hole. All right, so I got the door put on the bottom, and we're just gonna kind of measure this based on this other hose. So we'll take it right about here. Feed it through here. Couple of hose clamps. And get these guys tightened down. Put our air back on. Get that guy tightened down. Now the last thing I want to do, the stock light for this that comes with it just sucks. I've got some square LED. They're actually kind of like a work light type thing. I put magnets on the back of it. I use them a lot underneath my lift. I think I'm going to grab one of those and throw in this box. Try to get a little bit more light in there so we can kind of see a little bit better. This top plexiglass stuff is going to have to go at some point. It's getting pretty scratched up already. I don't have a chunk of glass here that I can put in. I may get some measurements on this and see if Pop's got anything sitting over there, or maybe one of my other friends who has a collection of doors, and I mean, he's probably got 70 doors, so he might have a chunk of glass laying around too. I don't know, we'll see. But let me get that shop light put in here, and then we'll give this guy a test and see what happens. So these are the lights I'm talking about. I get these from Home Depot, and I think they've got some stand something or other on the back of them. I take that off and I just attach a magnet to it, because then I can just clip this wherever I want. And it does swivel, so you can kind of adjust where you want it. I'm just going to run this out the exhaust port on the other side and then plug it in. I know I'm going to make a little bit of a mess with the dust, and I may destroy this light. If I do, I do. And I'll probably have, if this works well, I'll come up with some better way to mount it. But that gives me a lot more light. Door closes good. So, yeah. Let's I don't know if I can get you situated so you can see anything or not, but let's get this set up and we'll give it a try. All right, so I tried to record sandblasting this piece, but it wasn't gonna happen. The camera just can't see inside. So it turned out pretty decent. I mean, there's still some spots that I need to hit. I just kind of went over it pretty quick, but the Sandblaster is working significantly better than it was before, and I got a lot of parts to clean up. So this is gonna come in handy for sure.